Hi everybody, how are you doing today? So I hope you are really enjoying the conference so far, or you're enjoying the recording of the conference. So if you're watching this, probably you're watching the recording on maybe I didn't make it to the conference. So anyway, this is my talk. It's called Headless with the Nuxt, and we are going to look on headless world and the JAMstack world and how it works with the Nuxt. And basically we will be building it from scratch to the point that you can deploy a website or your application with Nuxt. And this, as I said, it's a hands-on experience. So my name is SNOPKO, and why I'm talking to you is basically that I am also a headless head of the developer relations at Storyblock, which is one of the headless CMSs. I love headless CMSs in general. I was working with them for a few years, and I was definitely using Nuxt for already like 5 years. So I think it's the best match, and it give me so much power to create many websites and also like to do all the projects what I want to. I'm tweeting as SNOPKO, and you can and it will be cool if you follow me. So just jump there and go to SNOPKO, and you can follow me. In the case you have any questions during the talk, just write me there. So what we are going to do is, I said, we are going to start from scratch, and we are going to build the website or your project or application or whatever you are building with Nuxt. You can check the code on this link. And feel free to jump there, but there will be also like other links I will be sharing, and you can get it. So the best way to start is the first question, and as it is it's kind of fast and furious. So you are going to, I'm totally recommend to use a create Nuxt app. Whatever you are using, Yarn or NPM, just go for it, name project, and just start. The point is that you will get always the latest information, the latest setup with all the packages you need. You just go through the step-by-step tutorial, and the project is basically like this. This is what you will get, and you also saw my notes here. And what that means. So basically, first of all, just run the localhost here. And what does the localhost should do is basically start your localhost link. And the localhost at my moment, it look like this. I think I just recently updated the localhost of the Nuxt, so you may see a different screen, and you can have a link to go to documentation of GitHub. And this is basically what you need. So your project is set up. Just go through the Nuxt create app, and you will get here. You're ready to deploy. But still, you just have the head only. You don't have a content. So for a content, I choose the headless CMS, and in this case, I'm going for Storyblock. And Storyblock is a digital platform, a software as a service where you can create and set up your projects in matter of the component. So you can get also the real visual editing, but even you are able to still follow all the good best practices of the Nuxt, and you don't have to do any compromises. So what I'm going to do here is just create it from scratch. I'm going to do the duplication of existing space or play with demo, and just really creating the stuff. Now I'm looking on my notes where I have also some copy pasting, and that I will basically don't do a lot of typos, but anyway, I do typos. So here, just created a new project, and as soon as I created a new project, I can close the guide because I'm your guide today, and you after this you also don't need the guide, to be honest. So what you see here is basically the project or your space where you keep your content usually. At the moment, I have only one homepage or home representing the index page or homepage. And of course, there are some other areas. You can go like check the dashboard and what's going on in your project. But in this case, we just created it. So if I would like open the home, I would see directly the visual editor part. So you see that this is not set up. I have here some like just welcome message, but I also see on the right hand side that I have my component, and I can start editing them. I could also like focus only on the component and get the default headless view that a lot of other headless CMSs have, but I am going to focus on the real visual editor today, and we will do and use setup this. So we have at the moment a teaser. I could like change it to like hello London, and I could like of course save it. I could like publish it, and the publish, if there will be set up the webhook, that will be set triggering the webhook, and the webhook will be then starting the deployment on Netlify or Vercel or any other service you would like to use for hosting or your own servers maybe. Of course, there are a bunch of other features that I'm going to go through now, and we are going to focus how to connect them first. So at the moment, I have my content. I even see like what kind of content I would be getting. So probably it's if I would be using rest of the V2, I will be getting something like this in this case. And now I need to get this content to the story to the Nuxt.js, because I have here still the welcome page. So this is my project, and in the project what you need to do next is just install a easy thing. You just, of course, you will be needing Axios. So using the create Nuxt app, just install the Axios, and then you will need the Storyblock Nuxt app module. The Storyblock Nuxt module, just install it using the npm or yarn, and then jump to the packages to the Nuxt config. The Nuxt configuration quite well explained already in the Nuxt website, and you really don't need to set up a lot here. So what we are going to set up today is just basically set up the module for the Storyblock. So in this case, you can see here that there is a Storyblock Nuxt module called, and we access here the access token. There are like a bunch of other setups which we are, our configuration, which we are not going to cover today, but now we need the access token. Also, I would definitely encourage you to save the access token in .env file, but I'm not going to do that now because we just saving some times for the talk. So here is my first access token, but if I need, I can create, of course, as many access tokens I need, and I can create a publish, draft tokens, and then also for different branches in the releases or ID apps. So here I'm going to add my access token. I see my project is rebuilding. So in this moment, basically, I should see, maybe I should see an update, maybe not. So let's see what's going on the screen. And on the screen, we don't see any update at all. And if you think about it, it's okay, because the moment is just important as not that we are not getting error. So this is running. Even the building is taking a little bit longer time, but it should run. Yeah, it's running. So everything is running, okay, and everything is prepared. So what is the next step? So we already created, we connected, and we know it's connected, but we still don't see the content. And even if I go to Storyblock, I told you, like, here is that visual editing part, but we don't see it here. So let's first set up this. So here you can see that this is saying your server address /home, and this is like our iframe let's call it fake browser, and you can like have a multiple preview links for your different environment. But here I would like to see my localhost at the moment. So what I need to do is basically take the localhost address and just going to set up it in the settings. So let's jump to the settings of the project, and here I will just rename the location, the default location. But if I'd like to add here something special like a development location, I can also add here maybe a Versa or Netlify link. So it works quite well. I just save it, and now if I go to back to the content and open the home, I should see a change. And first of all, I see a difference here. I see error. In this case, the error is a good thing because we are getting the Nuxt.js error from this left corner. You can see that. So what does it mean? That this means basically that in my code, the pages, the router doesn't know about the home.vue website or the home Slack at all. We didn't set up any router for that, so we need to point to the index page. We could do that like by various ways, like setting it directly next, but we know that the home page makes sense to name it somehow. So all we need to do is in the story block say like, hey, this one story or this home represent the index page, which is living usually in the real path is just empty slash. So yeah, just add here and override the real path for the real visual editor. I suddenly see my preview of the Nuxt project, and I can close my localhost tab. So now we'll be using basically this view. So you see here, I still see only the preview. I don't see really the content I showed you here. I don't see any Hello London text. I don't see any grid. So what we need to do? So we need to first understand what are these components. So these components are the components from the story block. In the story block, you may set up as many components as you need. It's unlimited number. Really, the only limitation is your imagination in this case. And you have two types. It's a content types and nestable components. The content types, of course, used to create the entries or stories in story block. So this could simple as like page, home page, article page, but also stuff that is not represented by the page as an auto author that is like appearing on multiple pages. And the nestable components are the blocks on those pages. So let's say we have had a hero image, hero area, or a slider, or a different stuff. Like here we have a feature, grid, teaser. So basically exactly that stuff that you would be building using the atomic design, and usually components that you have already defined in the Vue.js or in the Nuxt project. So this 99% of cases you get the same list in the Nuxt project and also in the Storyblock. So here I have right now 4 of them just created by default as placeholders, and the feature. So the feature, as you can see, has only one field, its name, and if I click on the field here, I can change different field types. There is like default field types for like rich text, blocks, etc. You can check it out in documentation, and of course you can always create your own field types. I'm not going to do that, so let's cancel it and not save it. Then I have a grid, which is a little bit special because here I am using a blocks type, and this block type basically means that I can use any other nestable components inside this a component and in this field, and I can, for example, like set a rule like I am only allowed to use a feature. And this way you can like creating a never-ending nesting of the nestable components inside the other components, whether are the other nestable components or content types. Then of course the page here, I just added here one field. You can add as many fields as you want. In this case I just add a body because it's a page, and the body is also type of blocks because we can add there any other blocks or components we already defined. And the teaser also has only one field, a headline. Very straightforward, and the headline is type text. So what do we have on the Nuxt side? Because we don't see still the preview of those components, and the reason is that because we didn't render them. So how to render them? Like first we need to create them in Nuxt. So in the Nuxt I am creating them. I already created them. And you can see here I have a feature component which basically render with tailwind styling a name, a text. The text or the content is I'm getting through the prop called block, and it's like just waterfall from the page level to going to the correct components or blocks. And then there's a special thing which is called V-editable, and this is because in the draft mode of the Storyblock we are able to enable the real-time editing and see the real-time editing as we are typing and clicking on the website. Just enhance my experience with the Storyblock and editing the content. For the draft mode, not the production. That's important. The production is not touched and it's so fast as possible, or as you can make it. The same goes then for, of course, for the teaser. We are just rendering the headline, and same approach as you see. So you will be seeing a lot of this block because that same thing is happening in the grid where I'm getting my content to the block. But here is a little bit a trick that I'm using a dynamic component from the Vue to render the dynamic component, because originally I didn't know if there could be a feature or a teaser or another type of the feature. So as I don't know what kind of components will come here, I have here I'm looping through the block called columns. So here you can see that this is the field called columns. I'm looping through this, and if I go to the content and show you that in the JSON also here in the REST API, we can go look for columns. We see that here is a component. Basically this component is called grid, and it contains a field called columns, and these columns have three objects, and those 3 objects represent those 3 features which you can see here in the grid. So, and the same thing happens here. We just loop through them, find out what kind of type is. So block.component returns me the type of the component. That's it here. That component is returning the feature. And if this block.component returns the feature, I know that I should render the feature. And this is the default behavior of the Vue. So this is a really powerful approach you can already use. What is next? So this, and then you just render the feature. Quite simple. And the same goes basically for the page. We're just looping through the components and through the field called body through its component. So that's the level of the highest. So this is the page. There is a field body, and it contains at the moment 2 components, teaser and grid. So we know that in the order we are going to render them. Great. So still we didn't see them, and the reason why I didn't see them, we didn't register them in the Nuxt. So you can do that like multiple ways, like the old way, but the best way with you, I would definitely encourage you to do always at the moment, is just go for a component. So you can just, for example, write here components true, and now Nuxt will be automatically importing the components from the components folder if it's required. So in this case, we should slowly see a change here, but we will not see it because we still didn't request the data from Storyblock. We just connected the Storyblock to the Nuxt project, but didn't request it. So we need still call and use the Axios error, call the API. So to do that, we need to jump to the page, index page in this case. And this is also what I'm doing is only in this sample. You can abstract these functions and then reuse them on the many pages as you need. And they're like, I have workshops how to do it multi-language or other stuff like this. So what I'm going to do here is maybe I will do a little bit bigger, is that I am going to remove basically the stuff here. So this stuff, let's make it a little bit bigger that you see it, is the original welcome screen from the Nuxt project, so I don't need it anymore. So let's remove it. I added my code. So in this case, I'm finding out what kind of component type I want to render. In this case, I could replace this also with a page. I know that I'm not going to render the logo. Then I will do some my code, so requesting some data, and basically I can remove all the styling. So what is the data or my script here? So my script here is just setting up the skeleton of my data, so like what probably I'm expecting, and then in the async data hook I'm requesting my data. I'm using the Storyblock API, which was installed by the Storyblock module already. So on the context.app I have Story API, and here I'm asking for the home content. I'm asking statically for home content and not dynamically, because I know I'm on the index page in this case. But in the real world, you will be able to find out the full slug of what you should request from Storyblock by, for example, this line. And the same goes also for the version, because at the moment we are asking for the draft version only, but in the real world, if you go for production, you will want to find out like, should I get for production content or should I get the draft content for Storyblock? So exactly something like that, you will find out the version. And this is basically just asking data, and then in the case we get the data, we will return them to the data and we should see them. So if now everything is rebuilt, yes, we see our content, and this is quite cool. We can like start to edit it, like hello Vue. We can save it, and still we have to reload it to see the update. And this save and reloading is basically polluting our history here, because every time we have to like reload and see the preview, we will create a new version of our content, which is a little bit tricky, and I think we can do better with the Vue and Nuxt. So what I mean is that in the mount hook, hopefully call it correctly, we can initialize the Storyblock bridge. The Storyblock bridge is a little bit JavaScript library that's also like partially installed already by the Storyblock module. And here you can create the Storyblock bridge instance, and then in the Storyblock visual editor, with the draft mode of the content, we can listen for the events from the visual editor. So those events are of course the input, publish, and the change. So the publish and change are like basically save and publish. So and the input event is anything what you do directly in your content editor here. So if I save it and let the Nuxt really quickly to rebuild, which is look like it's already done, we see that instantly our preview is enhanced. So what does it mean and its code? So this is really cool, because we are not only able to add a little bit like outlines and identify our component, which is a little bit CSS we adding to the now development environment, but we are also have like clicks here. So there's a like the connection, and if I click on the feature 2, the right content is open on the right hand. I can and this doesn't work only one way, it works also the other way. So if I start to change the hello, for example, back to the hello London, or I would like to duplicate stuff. So like say I would like to duplicate the hello on the button, or maybe I would like to like move this backwards. I can start and do a lot of features that are really handy to my content editors, content creators, all the marketers. They want to experiment and create the stuff. So like say like they would try it out if the 6th feature was worked, so they can duplicate and they can preview it on the mobile screen, they can preview it on the tablets, they can go also like a little bit more dynamic. And then in the upcoming V2, it's even better, the visual editor, and it's has even more features and powers. So yes, this is what you can do very quickly without the saving. And now I am saving only with the version I am really happy about, and publishing also only the version I am super happy about. So what does it mean for me is that I spend less time trying, rebuilding and seeing and previewing, and really doing and focusing on the content. Yes, this is at the moment only a hello world. So what I promise you a little bit more probably. So let's create something more, because I still have, I think, 10 minutes. So let's do that. So let's create a component. I have here prepared a little bit help on the left side, and we will be creating the articles, and we will be featured of articles on the homepage. So to do that, at first we need to create an article. So we will define how the article would look like. So this is the component article, which is a content type. So we will be creating real articles. I would like to have here a title. Title is good. Then I would love to have a hero image. I would love to have an intro and author. Intro, author, and the prose. This is where we will write our text. There is many ways how you will can define the article. This is like the basic one. So the title, very simple. I will just keep it text. I could make it translatable, or I could require it. Let's require it. Then the hero image, I would love to probably have an image. So let's choose asset and go for image. In the case of intro, I would love to have a longer text. So, but without the options to edit it a lot. I would also replace the order. Then author, I would like to choose authors. Also many ways how to implement it. I'm going for single option at the moment, because there should be only a single author, and I'm just going to get a name of it. So I'm going to define the authors here, but I could also raise the authors of other stories or external sources or whatever I would like to. So here I will add a Sam, and I will add a DOM. And then the last thing, I need a prose. In this case, I'm going to use rich text editor, because I love more rich text editor than the Markdown, because I can use their custom classes and also add a component inside. So now I've created a schema or definition of my article, but still I don't have the preview of it. I cannot render it. But that doesn't mean in the headless world and the JAMstack that you are blocked and you cannot create articles already. So I am going to add option to my writers to create articles in the articles folder, and I would love them to only create the article types there. So let's add article. They have a folder now, and I can add here the article number 1, and I just very quickly create a new one. I don't have any preview, so Nuxt is basically saying like, hey, I don't know what you want to render, so let's focus only on the content. And I'm going to upload the stuff. So let's upload the image number 1 here, and of course I could like set the like this focus point and other stuff there, like change crop, change the filters, because we offer also the star image service. I'm getting some content, and here I would like, of course, write my text. There's many ways how you can set up it. So let's save it. And let's create 2 more articles very quickly. So I will going to duplicate the stuff, just say a 2, duplicate, jump there. And I'm going to only change the images, because I would like to see something real as a change. So here, and let's make a storyblog is cool for now. And author will be the DOM. Yes, save it. So let's go back and one more article I said, and that will be article number 3, not 4, of course. So duplicate, create, and sorry, I'm spending a little bit more time maybe on this as I should. Maybe I should house, but Vue London is cool. And let's keep me as author. So let's save it. Now let's go here and let's publish all 3 articles. Sorry, here is the publish button. Let's publish it. And now I would love to see, I would like to go to homepage. So I now love to see on the homepage featured those 3 articles here. So how to do that? Because I don't have a component for it. I can create only feature, grid, and teaser. So what you need to do is, of course, I now luckily I lost almost my project, so I need to create here a new stuff. So I need to create a component called featured articles. So it will be featured articles. It will be nest table, and this nest table articles will be, of course, articles that I want to pick by hand. So instead of having that, and I want to pick multiple of them, so I'm going for multi options, and as a source I'm going to choose stories that are coming from the articles folder. So let's save this, and now if I go to content, I still didn't render anything. I can go to the home, I can go to add block, I can see all the featured articles, and I can add them on the bottom, and nothing is happening here. So hopefully I didn't do anything wrong. But as I'm already adding those, you can see that they are adding. There's a little typo. So the things why they are adding and there is rendering is that because I have the code ready in this Nuxt, and the auto import of the Nuxt is already knows that, okay, he wants to render this. So what do you need to do now? So what I did in the Nuxt basically, because I now can create a feature articles, I can like move them around, and I basically have a website or a component that I can use. So let's save this and jump very quickly to code. So in the code, basically, I just created also a featured articles component. Here, I just rendering a little bit a title with some style. And then of course, I'm rendering a list, another list of my articles where I getting my content from that call. Here I getting the blog.articles, I'm looping. So exactly here you see I'm looping this field articles. And yes, this is something that I would normally get only the UIDs of those articles, but thanks to the resolve relations here in the feature.articles and also here in the call of the API, I am able to resolve instead of getting IDs, I'm getting the content of my articles. So if now I go to the articles, which is maybe a little bit confusing, I'm just rendering a 3 article teasers. I didn't create the article teasers in the Nuxt, but that's not the issue because I am just making another layer of abstraction directly here in the Nuxt project. And here the article teasers rendering basically an image, and it's even resizing it. So it's using the storyblock resize image to resize it to 300, 250, and then render the title, intro, and outro with a little bit styling from the tailwind. And that's it. So if you have a featured articles, we now could fix this title. So let's very quickly fix this. You can also define schema here. So I get a title, I think it was called. So save schema and say featured articles. And the really nice feature about this is like now you can reuse that featured articles component. And for example, I can copy paste it here. Oh, sorry. I just wanted that copy paste, not select. It's on the top. So I just now jump here. DOM is in the middle. So let's remove the article from DOM and call this Sam's article. You can save it, publish, and the website is deploying. Done. And I just created something very quickly, and that's, I think, awesome. You can follow how fast you can develop with this approach your stuff. So if you want to know more, and you maybe want to finish it to the stage like this, which is on your screen at the moment, also with the multi-language, you can go to the storyblock.com/tc/Nuxt.js, where you will find the ultimate Nuxt/Vue hub for the Storyblock and the Nuxt. And you will not learn only about the connection between Storyblock and Vue and Nuxt, but also get references to interesting Nuxt articles. And also, for example, how to build Vue.js, which was built also using the Storyblock, and there's a 7-part tutorial there. So just go there and try it out. Also, I want to thank you, the organizer of the conference. I want to thank you to the Nuxt team, to the Vue team, and all the teams outside there who are building these products, because we speakers usually getting only the cherry on the top on the cake. And behind all of this is like many people who are spending their time. Same with Storyblok. So if you want to make them happy, like tweet about them, say thank them. That's really important. I really, it's always gave me energy to continue. And follow them on the Twitter, like follow us on Storyblok, or follow me on Samuel SNOPKO on Storyblok. On Twitter. And ask us questions. We are happy always to answer. And additionally to that, I have one more surprise for you. You can go to the storyblok.com/a/Vue.js live minus 2021 perk, which will give you a 3 months premium. But as far as I know, it was changed to a different name. It's not any premium account, but you will get a more like expensive account for free for 3 months to try. Usually you get only 15 days of trying every time you create a new space. And the one last thing before they saying like final thank you, just check also the Storyblok version 2 coming with all the cool new features like the new visual editor, and you can get you can always it's already in public beta. You can give us the feedback, and we are listening for your feedback, and we are asking your feedback, and we really want to create the best experience for the modern frameworks like Nuxt and Vue to like enable us developers to not spend time on the creating content and backend, but really nice website and applications. Thank you very much, and see you somewhere soon in the live. Ciao.